Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea from a review of the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game, and we won the game 2-1. And that's all that matters, that we got the 3 points and won the game. Yes, it is a bit annoying that we conceded that last minute goal basically to not keep a clean sheet, and that we missed those huge chances to not win by 4 or 5-0 even. But you know, 3 points is what matters most. And getting straight into it, starting off with the lineup, it was a 3-4-3, Thibaut Courtois in goal, a back three of Cesar Spilicueta, Andreas Christensen and Gary Cahill, the 2 wingbacks being David Zappacosta and Marcos Alonso. 2 central midfielders of N'Golo Kante and Cesc Fabregas, with a front 3 of Eden Hazard, Willian and Olivier Giroud starting up front. Antonio Rudiger wasn't even on the bench. I'm not yet sure what's wrong with him. You know, if you find out by the time this is up, let me know down in the comment section below. Hopefully it's just a minor niggle and he was left out of precaution ahead of the Barcelona game. But, you know, Cahill actually did a decent job, so, you know, it was alright. But I have to admit that I was slightly annoyed when I saw that Emerson Palmieri didn't start the game. Because I thought, well, you need Marcos Alonso to be as fresh as possible on Wednesday. And yes, of course, we won the game with Alonso, so it went well. But you don't know, wouldn't we have fun with Emerson anyway? And, you know, I'm just like, I mean, we signed the guy in January. Yes, it was basically the last day of January, but you know, he's played 1 game and he came on in 1 other game. Like, what's the point of these kind of signings? Like when we signed Pato and he made his debut on like the 1st of April. Like, what's the bloody point? Like, yes, for depth, of course, but, you know, if you have someone for depth and you actually think he's good enough, then you actually use him for depth reasons. But anyway, otherwise I was quite happy with the starting 11. Getting into the game, it was a good start for Chelsea. Zappacosta looked very lively and looking for Giroud, who was also looking to play quick with the likes of Hazard and Willian around him, showing from the get-go what a real striker, a physical striker, can do for you in a game. We did get a few shots away within the first 10 minutes, but nothing that really threatened their keeper. Townsend for Crystal Palace was actually the first one to got fairly close to scoring when he took a loose ball at the edge of the box on the volley but put it just over the bar. But Chelsea was still certainly dominating things in the early parts of the game, dominating possession and trying everything to get an early goal, while Crystal Palace were forced to sit very, very deep. And then in the 25th minute, we managed to break the deadlock with Willian. Of course, who else was going to score than Willian, who's been on fire recently? He made it 1-0. He got the ball by the left touchline, basically cut in and ran along the edge of the box before getting his shot away, which did take a slight deflection and went in from the left post. It was a good run, but got slightly lucky with the deflection. Like I said, I think it would have made for quite an easy save without the deflection actually. Either way though, a massively important goal to get fairly early on in the game. And then in the 32nd minute, 2-0 already. Great build-up play, but very lucky for the ball to eventually actually go in. Perfect ball by Fabregas to Alonso, was charging down the left flank, putting a low cross towards Willian, who stepped over it to leave it for Eden Hazard, who squared it to Zappacosta, who actually played in a low cross into the box, or you know, along the box basically, which the keeper tried to clear by jumping out for it. Missed the ball. Martin Kelly behind him tried to clear the ball as well. Actually did connect with the ball, but hit it straight at the back of his own keeper. From there it then bounced back onto Martin Kelly's knee and over the goal line, and it was 2-0. Ridiculous goal, as Eunice called it, a ping-pong goal, basically. But yeah, no, a little bit ridiculous. Great build-up play, but, you know, completely ridiculous and very lucky to actually, you know, get that goal. Even after making it 2-0, we were still very much on the front foot, trying to kill the game off in the first half, and we got close a few times very soon after making it 2-0. Giroud with a header, Alonso with a volley laid off by Giroud. And after last week, it was just good to see how many players we just pushed forward and into the opponent's box. Of course, Crystal Palace isn't Man City, of course, but it's still good to see anyway. And then into 45th minute, we were denied a wonder goal, and Giroud was denied his first Premier League goal for Chelsea. An unbelievable move by Willian, Fabregas, Hazard. Basically, everyone was involved. Into and through the box. Hazard then laid the ball off to Giroud inside the box already, who did place the ball into the bottom corner quite well, actually. But Tompkins slid in last second to clear the ball off the line, and that was obviously very frustrating because, you know, it would have been an incredible goal. And some people might say, oh, of course, Giroud is just awful at finishing. But for that one, I don't think you can really blame him. Like, he placed the bottom corner. I mean, can't really blame him for a defender sliding in and clearing off the line. That was then half-time at 2-0. It was a good half, a very good half, you might say. Especially after going 1-0 up, it was complete domination by Chelsea. Almost getting that third, which would have killed it off, you know, in the first half already. But very good football anyway, and everyone looking sharp and quick. And all you can really ask for against Palace, who've kind of become our bogey team recently. And getting into the second half, the first thing that happened was a massive chance for Crystal Palace after yet another huge error by Andreas Christensen. A poor touch of the ball by the Danish centre-back fell straight to the Crystal Palace attacker, who then thankfully hit the post from very close range. And I'm sorry, Christensen, but ever since that huge mistake you made against Barcelona that gave the 1-1 away, you've you've made too many mistakes, made a huge error against Man United. Some people are even saying you made 2 huge mistakes in that game. Made a big, error against Man City for us to concede that goal. And now made a mistake again today. Yes, it was Crystal Palace, and you can see that. A team like Crystal Palace doesn't punish you for your mistakes as much as Barcelona, Man United and Man City do. But, this has to stop. You can't keep making these mistakes. We don't have David Luiz at the moment. You need to be playing. You need to be playing really well because you are incredibly good. Just stop making these mistakes, please. Please stop it. And then we had another ball cleared off the line in the 50th minute. An incredible run from very deep by Willian. Squared it to Giroud, who crossed it back to the Brazilian, who had his shot but was again cleared off the line by Tompkins, the same guy who cleared Giroud's effort off the line in the first half. And only 5 minutes later, another huge chance to make it 3-0. This time for Eden Hazard after he was played through by Giroud back heel flick on. But he was denied by the goalkeeper who saved Hazard's shot from fairly close range with his foot. The start of the second half, there was a lot more even than the first half. We weren't in complete, domination anymore. Fair few shaky moments at the back as well. I mentioned a Christensen moment at Palace with a fair few dangerous moments as well, looking completely different since bringing on Zaha for Benteke at half time. And that third goal just didn't want to go in because in the 67th minute, yet another great attack, this time started by a quality run by Eden Hazard, but ending with Giroud hitting the post from an Alonso cross. Like, this one, maybe you can, properly blame, Giroud for. Yes, he had to stretch out for it, but he should have done better there. Very unlucky, not to get that third goal, because especially very soon after that, he was subbed off for Alvaro Morata in the 72nd minute. And after that, the game died down a little bit. No real chances created by either side, and I was very surprised that we only made 1 substitution until the 87th minute, when Pedro and Bakayoko came on for Hazard and Fabregas. That was a bit weird, I thought. I wouldn't exactly put that down on just Morata by himself, who had 2 shots, 2 awful shots, right? 1 got blocked, but still not very good. The only thing that did happen after Morata came on and before Palace scored that goal was Morata getting booked, which was his 9th yellow card of the season. So just 1 yellow card away from a 2-game suspension. And even in this game, he could have been sent off. Sarcastically clapped the ref after getting booked, which, some refs, straight away give a 2nd yellow card for. And then he hit the flag out of the line of his hand. Fair enough, it was probably an accident. He was probably just throwing his hand around in frustration because we should have had a corner and they got a throw in, or a goal kick anyway. But you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but you don't get close to scoring, but you get extremely close to getting sent off when you're only playing for 20 minutes. Like, come on, you can't be doing that. And people thought Diego Costa had disciplinary issues. Like, what is going on? In the 90th minute then, I mentioned it already, Palace got 1 back through former Chelsea player Patrick Van Aanholt, who slotted in between Courtois' legs after Zaha squared him the ball. And sorry, but does Courtois save anything these days? Like, honestly, how many really saves does he make these days? Like, that you're saying, oh, he's actually a world-class keeper. That doesn't really happen. You can't really just put that down on him because for some goals a keeper just can't do anything about, but you just can't be nutmegged that easily. Yes, you have to make yourself big and stuff, so you have to spread your legs, but it just looked a little bit too easy. I might be going off on one because I'm still not happy about what he said a few weeks back, but, I'm not too happy about that. Like, he needs to fix up as well, I thought, especially against Barcelona. Like, they will have shots on target. We need someone like Petr Cech. Remember how many saves Petr Cech made at the Camp Nou in 2012. We need Courtois to be like that on Wednesday. Can't be conceding silly goals against Crystal Palace. Anyway, that was then full time at 2-1. And I mean, we should have won that game 4 or 5-0. But no, we had to make it difficult for ourselves and make the scoreline look like it was a tight game, which it really wasn't. The first half was good, very good almost, still creating plenty of chances in the second half as well. But then it did die down a little bit, like I said, maybe conserving some energy as well. But we got the 3 points, and that's what matters the most. Not whether it finished 5-0 or 2-1. That's not as important as the 3 points, of course. Defensively, we were a bit shaky in the second half. Mainly when we were in possession, actually. We just gave the ball away in stupid areas. Surprisingly, Azpilicueta did that quite a few times, which isn't like him. And Cahill, on the other hand, didn't do it at all, I don't think. Christensen was involved a few times in that as well, but, I mentioned his mistake in particular. But yeah, talking about players that played really well, I thought Willian, Zappacosta, Hazard and also Giroud, even though he missed 2 huge chances, generally I thought he had a very, very good game, which is showing what a physical present striker just can do for you. He was very good and very crucial in our good performance, I thought. And also Kante had a good game, I thought, and I was very happy to see him, play so well and seem completely fine after, of course, passing out last week in training. I wouldn't say anyone had a bad game, so we certainly deserve to win that game, and that's really it for me. That's really all I can say. Leave me your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Like I said, just leave me all of your thoughts, basically. Who was your man of the match? If there is one, I think Willian was our best player, so in my opinion, it was him. But yeah, any other thoughts, leave it down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to check out my social media, which is Lars1507 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me over there. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea here on YouTube. We would massively appreciate that as well. And now it's on to Barcelona. I will be there. All of us from 100% Chelsea will be there. We got a win today, got the job done, and now all the focus must be on the Catalans. All of our focus has to go there. Conte, think of something genius. Just think of something genius that no one can predict, and that everyone, no matter whether you're Conte in or Conte out, would just, be mind-boggled by what you did and it's worked. Just do something like that. That'd be good. And to the players, play just your absolute very, very best. And then we'll have a right old party in Barcelona. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.